Yeah, the hat going. That's nice. All right, man. So tonight's show, it's obviously, a big deal. It's a local show. Does it take on any different meaning for you? Because friends are... Why? Because friends are here? Because there's history?
No, it's a pain in the ass because friends are here.
Everyone
The
wants
LA crowd is like really jaded, first of all. You come home, whether it be a form or, you want to do a private thing or like this. It tends to be a pain in the ass sometimes, but I'd rather be in Des Moines right now.
Because it's quieter, right?
No, it's crazier.
As far as the set's concerned, you guys talked about the 5 new songs, but what about going back? I mean, is there stuff... Obviously, there's good essentials people expect to hear, but are you guys going way deep at all? Or?
Yeah, we're actually going to do You Think You're Tough. We'll do something from the EP. We'll do something from Cellar, and I'm looking at the list now. It's up on the wall. We'll go to I Want a Woman, Slip, new songs, Way Cool, Lay It Down, Back for More, EP, You Think You're Tough, round and round, and end up with something real good.
Nice. What about the tightness of this band right now, this version of RATT, this unit, and how it sounded on stage?
We're loosely tight all the time. I mean, we have our moments, but we're not one of those bands that like try to cover every nuance. Especially not me. I'm old school. I like to jam. If somebody wants to come and see me sing every note perfectly, they better get a record. Because that's not how I play it. I got to get off on it.
When was the last time you guys played on Strip as RATT?
We actually played not too long ago.
Actually, House of Blues or something, right? I think.
Yeah, House of Blues. No, we actually played some theater near here recently.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
What about going to Europe on this tour? How do you think, how were the audiences back then for you guys? And it's always a little stronger out there, it seems, for the hard rock.
Yeah, but we really haven't broken that market. We're actually have been doing it the last couple years, and we'll do some festivals this summer, and which is great, and the record's being received well over there, so I think they're ready for some RATT and roll.
This new record, what was the process of, was it like Warren and Carlos working something out and giving it to you? What was your process involved in songwriting?
I do writing. I give them stuff that I've written, lyrics and music, and they give me guitar parts, or I hear something that they play and I tell them to keep working on it. But end of the day, I get a hold of the music, and I'd rather not have lyrics or words or singing, and then I just have at it, and then we get together, and no matter who wrote it. I mean, Carlos brought in 2 songs. One of them was Best of Me and Eat Me Up Alive, and Bobby brought in a couple, Look Out Below, and Warren a couple ideas, and I mean, we just put it all in. Crane, our bass player, threw down a tune, and I mean, it was very cool. I wrote something, co-wrote a song with the producer that Warren and I worked on, and so it worked out well.
You guys mentioned how it harkens back to Out of the Cellar and Invasion of Your Privacy, classic era RATT. Was it a conscious decision, or did it just kind of come out that way?
No, it was conscious.
So
definitely.
Where do you guys got to, with a conscious decision, I guess, what's the mindset walking in? Is it based on riffs? Is it based on melodies?
It's based on everything. I mean, it could start out with just one little riff, or I could have a bunch of words that just fit something they noodle on, or I can be, here, like this one song we do, Last Call, I believe. It was, part of it was a jam that we played after Lack of Communication Live, and I always liked it and wanted Warren to turn it into a song, and we did, so it all depends,
Is there a certain spirit within you guys, especially you, Warren and Bobby, with Robin? Is there any thought of Robin?
Yeah, sure. The record's dedicated to our brother. This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Without a doubt, he's in there in spirit. Sure. Robin made sure we retained our heavy metal, jacket.
Did he try to keep it, not stray too far? You mean, like as
sure,
far as
just keeping it real. I mean, if we get outside or too mellow or too bluesy or too whatever, I'm the first to step up and say, what are we doing here? You know?
How about tonight? You know, on the faces you see out in the crowd tonight coming to see you guys. In what ways do you think it'll be the same? In what ways do you think it'll be different?
Well, it'll be different because my 13-year-old daughter will be here, and you know, and I got to watch P's and Q's, which I don't. And as far as everybody else, like I say, it's LA, so you know, you don't go through motions, but you know, we're not here to impress or. Pretty jaded in this place. I mean, I started here in Gazarri's, which was Gazarri's years ago. So, you know, to me, I just get out there and yell at people, you know, and see how it turns out.
If you could, man, tell us a little bit about Gazarri's. I'm from Jersey, from Seattle. We heard stories.
Gazarri's.
You know, what was it? What was it? What was Gazarri's?
Well, Gazarri's was like this cool, beat-up 2-story building with all these rooms down here now, including the one we're in, used to be hidden rooms behind push doors, you know, and Bill would have these crazy parties and shit happening, you know, and if you were fortunate enough to be tight with him, he'd let you in, you know, and fortunately I was, and, you know, and I mean, Dave Roth would still come around after gigs, and you know, yeah, there's some wacky shit that went on here, believe me.
What bands are playing here? Besides yourselves?
Back in the day, well, there was Dubrow, which was Quiet Riot before Quiet Riot. There was Mickey Rat before Rat. There was Black and Blue. There was Dante Fox, which ended up being Great White. There was all kinds of silly bands. A band called Venice. I mean, there were some staples, you know. You know, Mickey Rat was one of them that turned into Rat, you know. And actually, Van Halen was a house band here, and I remember mid-70s, 76, 7, a friend of mine told me, I had moved to LA in 1971, and I remember coming up here, and a friend of mine said, oh, you got to see this band playing at Gazarri's. They're called Van Halen. They play Led Zeppelin, just like Zeppelin. And I was like, oh, wow. Interesting. Okay. Well, I'll go check them out. And, you know, sure enough, just started checking them out when they graduated to the whiskey. And inevitably, that's what happened to us. We, you know, when RATT started playing, we graduated to the whiskey and became the house band there.
Yeah.
You know? Then you move up to the Palladium, and then you move up to Santa Monica Civic, and then the Forum, and then you end up back here. What comes around goes around, you know.
Was there a conscious decision of this particular venue because of the history, or did it just work out that way? And there's a lot of venues in LA.
Yeah, but we wanted it to be a place that we had played, and so we figured, this place will do. You know, the whiskey would have been a little too pretentious. We've done that. The Roxy, I don't think they had an open date, so we settled on this, which is just fine.
Thanks a lot, man.
Right on, bro.
We'll see you the rest of the night.
Thanks, man.
Right on.
Very, very cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, we'll leave you alone.
Well, I guess they did turn the AC on.
Yeah.
It's different down here now.